Greetings, welcome back to another full day of eating vlog. I'm starting out my morning with cloud coffee, which I know I said in my previous video wasn't all that, but it's kind of grown on me, honestly. I reduced the sugar a little bit and now I really like it. Plus I also tried it with I got different instant coffee and I think I like the flavor of this one a little bit better. So here are our drinks. One for me, one for Eric. I used vanilla unsweetened almond milk this time. Drizzled it with a little bit of Hershey syrup, which is accidentally vegan, if you didn't know. It's just decorative though, just for the top. If you reduce the sugar like I did, the foam does get less fluffy, but I think it still works fine. Which one do you want?
The people of Earth need to hear this.
Okay.
First of all, I want this one. This is my favorite thing. This is the best quarantine tradition. It's fantastic. I don't know what else to say. I want all of this. I want foam. It's so bitter and so sweet, and it's so delightful. We're doing it.
It sucks.
This is a 25-minute day, 25 minutes straight for the Couch to 5K program. We out here. It's like 20 degrees. It's kind of snowing. It's foggy. It's wet. Our noses are running. It's awesome. No one else is out here, baby. We're getting fit. I love you. Look at you. Look at you go. Oh, I got a few more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Whew. Good job, baby. How do you feel? How do you feel?
My nose is cold. I feel good.
You thought you couldn't do it today. The legs are kind of sore.
Yeah.
I can't talk. My mouth is like so cold. Yeah. Good job.
Thank you. Hey guys. Very disheveled because I literally just walked into the house from finishing one of my Couch to 10K runs. And I might be talking funny because my face is frozen. It's started snowing a little bit at the end of our run. But I just want to check in really quickly because I started feeling like weirdly emotional when I finished my run. Just because, talked about this, but I've dealt with depression for pretty much all of my life that I can remember. It tends to get worse during the winter. I deal with some seasonal depression. It's really hard for me on days when there's no blue in the sky. And this is one of those days, and I feel like maybe up until like even last month, I would have woken up and seen the weather this way and just kind of just given up on the day. 2019 was such a difficult year for me as far as my mental health goes. There were stretches of weeks where it was hard for me to accomplish anything. Like everything that I loved doing, you know, cooking, making music, working out was really hard for me to care about for some reason. And that's just been changing a little bit. Things have felt lighter and I've been accomplishing more. And that's weird for me. Going out and like running in the cold, sticking to my schedule and, you know, moving closer to one of my goals. It's something that I have always struggled with, and I don't know, I'm just really proud of myself. Yeah, I'm gonna eat breakfast now. So I'm about to make my first meal of the day. I unintentionally intermittent fasted today. Actually, I had coffee, a little bit of sugar, a bit of sugar, but that's all I've had today. I am sipping on some BCAAs. For some reason, I'm really obsessed with supplements. It just helps me kind of establish a routine around working out, and it gets me excited about it. It's kind of like my reward for working out. I don't know, let me know if your brain works that way too. GNC was having like a buy one get one, or buy one get one 50% off for the brand Alani Nu, which makes the pre-workout that I love that I talked about in the previous video. And so I got some BCAAs. I got a sour gummy flavor. It really does taste like sour gummies, by the way. And then I got this rocket pop flavor. It's so good. It's like literally like those popsicles that I used to love when I was growing up. They're sugar-free too, and they're vegan friendly, obviously, but it's actually like marked vegan. on there. So I'm drinking some of that. I was seeing everybody make this no-knead bread recipe all over Instagram stories and such. So I had to jump on the bandwagon. And I made it yesterday. And this is what's left of that massive loaf. I've just been eating so much bread. Also with butter. I have to have butter with my bread. This is the Country Crock plant butter. I just leave it out so it's soft. So I'm gonna eat this to tide me over while I make lunch. I think I'm gonna make a salad. Have some chickpeas left over that I made in the Instant Pot a while back so I could have aquafaba to make the challah that I made in a previous video. So I think I'm going to season these with some olive oil and like garlic powder and pepper and maybe some onion powder and throw them in the air fryer and make some crispy chickpeas to top a salad off with. This is a little bit of stale challah that I cut into cubes, and I'm going to turn them into croutons. Also, by the way, I'll link the recipe that I used for this no-knead bread down below. I used the one by New York Times. If you just Google no-knead bread, I think it's the first one that comes up. It has like thousands of reviews. Super easy. I think it takes 4 ingredients, 3 if you don't count water. It does take a long time to be ready though, because you're supposed to let it ferment for 12 to 18 hours. So I just combined all the ingredients and let it ferment overnight and made it the next day. I think I'm gonna make it again and add in some roasted garlic and maybe some rosemary, some other herbs. Okay, the chickpeas are going in the air fryer. Seasoning my croutons. I'm gonna do them in the oven because I think they will take less time than the chickpeas. Croutons are such a great way to not waste bread that's gone stale. You can add any spices. I just added garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of salt, some black pepper, and then a little drizzle of olive oil. I don't know, crouton overboard. Just spread these out on a baking tray and bake them for, it kind of depends on how stale your bread is. Like mine is pretty darn stale. It's already like rock hard. So it will take less time. If yours is just a little stale but still has some moisture in it, just check them periodically. Nice. I'm throwing together a really easy, quick Caesar dressing using cashews. We got some raw cashews in there, a little bit of Dijon mustard, last of my capers, Worcestershire sauce, lots of black pepper, a little bit of miso paste just to make it more savory, some lemon juice, and I'm using garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic if you want, or even better if you have some roasted garlic on hand, but just keeping it easy using this. Just gonna blend that all up with a little bit of water until it's the right consistency. And there we go. I've made this so many times I don't really measure anymore. I may have a recipe on my blog, if so I will link it down below. Our crispy chickpeas and our croutons are done. So I'm just gonna assemble my salad now. How beautiful is that? I'm like kind of proud of myself for throwing this together just with stuff we had on hand. You gotta make sure you get a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Make sure you get a crouton and a chickpea in there.
Hold on.
Isn't it good?
Mm-hmm.
We should have salad more.
Mm-hmm. Really done did it, baby.
Yay. There's leftovers if you want one later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just very quickly wanted to document Eric's lunch.
Listen, don't you dare judge me. It's a hot dog cut up into 4, air fried on some bread. And you know what?
I'm sure it's delicious, baby.
It's delicious. It really is. My butt.
I wouldn't deprive you of that. I started another batch of no-knead bread, but this time I'm trying to use my whole wheat flour, just because I have a ton of it and I don't typically go through it as fast as the all-purpose, so I am reserving my all-purpose for other things. I am a little skeptical of this recipe that I selected, but if it turns out well, I'll link it down below. Hey guys, I'm checking back in. For lunch, I'm just keeping it really, really easy and lazy, and I made a protein shake using Viva Life Perform protein. I have the raw cacao flavor now. It's really good. I mixed it with half water, half unsweetened vanilla almond milk. I'm already starting to prepare dinner. I'm not gonna be eating it for a couple of hours, but I thought I would just prep all the ingredients and show you guys while there's still nice lighting. I'm having the shake now just because the quarantine situation has kind of thrown off my eating schedule. I think I talked about this in a previous video, but my sleep and my eating are both kind of weird. So I've been having this problem where I start eating kind of late in the day and then I find myself not getting enough calories. So chugging this down just to make sure I'm not under eating. For dinner, I am just using what we have on hand to make kind of like broccoli beef style soy curls. If you missed the previous vlog where I showed you, we got a 12-pound box of soy curls. They're definitely coming in handy because we found it really hard to find tofu in stores and even tempeh. I think I actually am going to, in the next vlog, attempt to make tofu from scratch, like from soybeans. I still have some in my pantry from the last time I attempted to make soy milk and I didn't really like it, so they've just been sitting in there, but I think we can successfully make tofu. So I soaked a couple of cups of the soy curls in hot water and I squeezed it out. I'm actually going to sprinkle them with some cornstarch and then just give them a toss until they're coated. And I'm gonna let them sit in this cornstarch until we cook in a few hours. The cornstarch is just gonna help the soy curls crisp up when I wok fry them in a little bit of oil. So I'm out of fresh ginger, but I have some from a jar. It's coming clutch today. I chopped up quite a few cloves of garlic. I'm also adding in half of a white onion. I wouldn't typically add it to this dish, but I'm just kind of trying to bulk it up with the produce we have on hand. Lots of broccoli here that I cut into florets, and then the sauce, pretty simple. We've got some water, some soy sauce, a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of cornstarch, and then I also think I'm gonna add in some chili paste. We just got a new container of this. Generally pretty liberal with this stuff. We like spicy food. So this is everything that's gonna go in our soy curl broccoli stir fry. I'm also going to steam a little bit of jasmine rice. We're gonna record another episode of our podcast. I think we're gonna talk about just staying motivated to work out and be productive during the quarantine. I'll link our podcast down below if you would like something to listen to. And then after that, I'll check in with you and we will cook dinner. Greetings, I am back to do my customary outro a couple days later. I'm gonna have the recipes for my dinner and my dessert down below. So I showed you how I made the broccoli beef style soy curls. You can also make that recipe using tempeh or tofu or seitan. Just do the same exact steps. Coat it in a little bit of cornstarch, crisp it up in some oil before you add the other ingredients. The sauce is just kind of a generic soy, ginger, garlic, brown sauce that I think would be good for pretty much any kind of stir fry if you're ever in a pinch and wanting to make a sauce out of things that you probably already have in your pantry. Then for dessert, I was craving sweets, as I usually do. I actually ran out of my beloved Simple Truth organic plant-based cookie dough that I show in so many of my videos. So I wanted to make my own little batch of cookie dough to put in the fridge just so that I could bake 1 or 2 every single night. That's like my routine. I wanted to make it on the healthier side. I also wanted to make it gluten-free because I can't find flour anywhere and I want to reserve my flour stores for bread. So I kind of built off of this paleo vegan chocolate chip cookie recipe that I've used before. I'll link it down below. I made some tweaks to it so that it was oil-free. So I just used all nut butter in place of the oil. And I also used this Swerve like sugar-free sweetener. I think it's like erythritol. I know I've had it sitting in my pantry for a while, so I wanted to use it up. So I used that in place of sugar. They came out really well. They do taste a little bit on the healthier side, but texture was really good for being gluten-free. Yeah, no regrets. I made a couple that night and then I shaped the rest into a log in the fridge, and every night I've just been like slicing off a few pieces and baking those. And it's really nice. So I hope you're all doing well still in the midst of all the self-isolation stuff. I'm gonna have lots of videos coming soon. I'm also gonna have a video on the Vivo Life YouTube channel. I'm gonna do a what I eat in a day video there. I'll also be doing a live event on their Facebook page, which I'll link down below. We're gonna do like a live cook-along video because all of the Vivo Life ambassadors are trying to host a little live stream event. There's some workouts, some Q&As, some meditations, yoga flows, so you can check that out down below. And mine will be on Wednesday if you're watching this in time. All that information down below. So I hope you're doing well. I'll see you very soon. Bye.